I love this shirt. Isn't this shirt freaking awesome? Hey guys, so today for my video game review, I am going to do a video game that I have been wanting to review for a while now, and I haven't for some reason or another. That game is Dragon Age 2. So this game is freaking awesome. I want to do a review for Dragon Age Origins, but that one's going to be pretty long because since you do have different origins to play through and different races in that one is going to be a pretty long review. This one is a little bit shorter. The game is pretty long, but um, shorter. I think it's actually shorter than Dragon Age Origins, but longer than Mass Effect 2. The cool thing about this game is that it's a narrative. And by that, I mean that someone is telling the story. Um, so basically, when Dragon Age 2 starts, it's starting like at the end. So it's starting after the story ended. So it's kind of like you're jumping into um, a story that you don't even know what happened. Like you're like, what the hell happened? So you jump into the end, and it's actually an interrogation. They're interrogating a character that's going to be in your party. Towards the beginning, he joins your party. His name is Varric Tethras. He's a dwarf, and he's awesome. He's one of my favorite characters. He's pretty cool. So they're interviewing an authoritative figure is interviewing him, asking him, "Where's the champion?" And you're just like, "What the hell?" You know that the champion is you, right? Hawk. And Varric is kind of like, I don't know where he is, but he kind of doesn't know where he is, but he knows who they're talking about, but he kind of pretends like he doesn't. Um, so that's how it starts. This lady is interrogating him, and she finally gets the story out of him. And when he starts telling the story, he's like, "Well, this is how it all started," and that's when you start the game. It like goes into the beginning, but it's like a story that already happened. So the game is someone telling a story that already happened. So it's not like you're playing the game as it happened, like say Origins. Um, this story already happened, but you're going to be playing it as someone is telling it. So I thought that was really cool. Um, you don't hear Varric narrating the whole thing the whole time you're playing, which is good. It's basically just like, well, this is how it happened, and then it like zooms into the actual uh, what he's saying, but just like it's animated out. So yeah, you're Hawk. You can be female or male. You're Hawk in this game, and this game takes place, um, like almost in the beginning of Dragon Age Origins, actually. So it's not after Origins. Some people have asked me if you have to play Origins to play this game, and you don't. You really don't. I would say play it because I love Origins, and Origins is an awesome game. So I would say yeah, play it, but you don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Because I almost see it like Dragon Age Origins is almost like an introduction to the world, like for you to understand the different races, and just how the world works and what is each class, and this is almost like the actual beginning of the story of Dragon Age. So, or I would almost call it Dragon Age Origins, and then this should be Dragon Age, because it's not an actual sequel to Origins. They do mention things that happen in Origins, but not like it's not very big. So I was saying that this takes place. It starts off like during the beginning of Origins, and by that, in Dragon Age Origins, you are in Ferelden, and that's the land that most of Dragon Age Origins takes place in. You go to different towns and cities and all that in Ferelden. It's like big, huge continent. Um, but it all takes place in Ferelden. The Blight, What a blight is the darkspawn. They're the mean-looking monster thingies. They live underground. They never come out unless a dragon gets tainted and it kind of like goes, evil, and it starts talking to the darkspawn. Darkspawn see this dragon as like a god. So whatever the dragon says, they have to do it. Um, and that's what a blight is when this happens to the dragon just wants everything obliterated. So the darkspawn come out and they start wreaking havoc and killing everyone. So that's what a blight is, and that's what happened in Dragon Age Origins. Is the beginning of the blight. During the blight, in the beginning, there's a town called Lothering. You don't see when the darkspawn attack Lothering. You don't see that in Origins, but you do hear about it. And so during that attack on Lothering, that's where Dragon Age 2 starts. Hawk and his family is actually from Lothering. So in the beginning, they're fleeing the Darkspawn attack. So I found that really interesting that they kind of like overlap each other. So there's just the beginning is in Ferelden, but then the rest of it, they kind of leave that continent and go into another continent, to a city called Kirkwall. And you don't leave Kirkwall. You're just the whole game takes place in Kirkwall, different areas of Kirkwall, and the outskirts of Kirkwall. But you don't leave Kirkwall. So another thing that I like about this game is that you're with your family. You have stronger relationships in this game than in Origins. In Origins, you had really strong relationships, but in Dragon Age 2, I think it's even stronger because not only you're traveling with your mother, your sister, and your brother. You have family members, so those are strong relationships already to start with. But you also have you become close friends or rivals with the party members that you meet over a span of 10 years. So you really grow to know these people. This like I said, 10 years. This game spans a 10-year timeline, and the way they do it, they split it up into 3 acts and a prologue and an epilogue. It's really interesting. The prologue is the fleeing of Lothering, like I was saying, and then the acts start. Each act, I believe, is 3 years, and in the prologue, the first year passes, so that's 10 right there. So once you finished one act, it goes back to Varric, and he's talking again, and then he says, so 3 years pass, and this is what happens next. It's basically Hawk, establishing his position in Kirkwall. He comes in a refugee, basically, and then after the act, he starts the things that he does in Kirkwall. He saves people, and he ends like a bunch of problems that are starting up with another race in Kirkwall. So people start to look up to him, and after each act, he's actually becoming more popular, and people are actually happy that he's there and all that. So he starts off in this little shack with his uncle, and then he ends up in this like mansion, this family mansion. So you could be a mage in this one. You could be a mage, a warrior, or a rogue, which is the same as Origins. You can't choose your race though. You're gonna be human in this one no matter what. A lot of people find that like the downside to Dragon Age 2, but I think it's pretty cool. It's fine. I mean, I was a human in Dragon Age Origins. I thought all the races were pretty cool in Dragon Age Origins, but to tell this story, I think it works for a human. I think the things that I didn't like about this game were, you've probably heard about this, but the maps, like the areas that you go through, there's probably only, I don't know, maybe 5 templates of environments, and then they just recycle them throughout the whole game. By recycle, I mean, all the dungeons that you go into, it's just one template. So you're like, wait a minute, wasn't I just here? And it's the same thing, but they add new things in there, new monsters and all that. But it's the same area, so they just recycle each environment. that's kind of like, that was kind of stupid, but it didn't really affect the storyline. And the storyline is so good that I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the storyline in any way. I also didn't like that you couldn't equip like clothing or armor to your on your party members, and you were able to do that in Dragon Age Origins. You were able to get whatever you would buy, armor and or clothing, and you would put it onto your party members and um, change them however the hell you wanted to. In Dragon Age 2, you could only equip accessories, so like belts and rings and stuff like that, but not clothing or anything like armor or anything like that. So you could only everything that you find, all the armor that you find, it has to be for you. And if let's say you're a warrior and you find um, a rogue armor, you have to sell it because you don't have anything to do it with it because you can't wear it because it's rogue specific, and you can't give it to any of your party members even though they are rogues. So that was kind of stupid. I was like, that sucks. I mean, you kind of did make more money that way because you were selling a bunch of stuff that you found that you couldn't use. And sometimes I kind of wish that I could have, given that stuff to my party members. You could also equip weapons on your party members, which is cool. That was like, okay, at least you could give them weapons.